Here's another example for this particular part. This part was not set up to be 3D printed. As you can see, it's got the same detail on both sides of the part. It is oriented in the correct direction. Z is in the the pull direction of the mold, the way it would be ejected. And so in this case, instead of putting the parting line on the surface, on one of the surfaces, in this one, the parting line is actually going to be in the middle, and it's going to be drafted in two directions. So the first thing I need to do, again, like I did before, is I need to get rid of the round. So going into Selection Manager, remember the Shift spacebar puts me in Selection Manager. I need to get rid of the rounds again. So we're going to find all equal radius rounds. Shift spacebar to get out of Selection Manager. Let's move this up here. And I'm going to use the delete key to remove all the rounds, all the small rounds, and then I'm going to also remove the larger rounds. In this case, again, I'll do equal radius, and getting out of Selection Manager, I'm going to tap spacebar 2 times. So I'm going from plus minus to plus to just minus, because what I want to do is remove all of these rounds that are in the corners of these cutouts. And by going into remove, it's only going to select things that are already selected. So it's no chance of adding things to the select set. So I have those removed. I'm just going to press the delete key again. And now we have exactly what we want. So in this case, what I want to do then is I want to draft it, but I'm going to draft it from a plane that's in the middle. I can see that my coordinate system is already in the middle. So that means my draft plane could be my top plane. If we look at it from the side view there, you can see that plane's going right through the middle of the part. And so what I want to do is I want to draft it in two directions from that plane. Again, like before, we want to go into the ordered mode. So I'm going to right click, transition to ordered. Now that I'm in ordered mode, then I can go to my draft command. And then this time I'm going to go into the options. I'm still be drafting from a plane, but I want to split the draft two directions. The draft plane is going to be the top plane, and then I want to select all normal faces, everything that is perpendicular to that plane. And you can see that I have angle 1 and angle 2. So I can decide to have the same draft in both sides. I'm going to add a 5 degree to angle 1 and only a 2 degree to angle 2. And the reason that I would have a lesser angle, I would want the lesser angle on the ejection side of the mold. The lesser the angle, the more likely it is to stick to that side. And that's the side I want it to stick to, is the ejection side. So I'm going to put less of a draft angle there compared to the top. I'm going to accept it. Next. So you see angle 1 is 5 degrees. Angle 2 is only going to be 2 degrees. So you can see I can switch between 1 and 2 by just moving the cursor up and down. Okay, so I want 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and I can see that that's that outside ring, and I want that drafting inward. So again, depending on where I put my mouse, 1 and 2, and I'm just going to click. And that's going to add my draft angles. Go to my front view here. You can see the difference. A large draft on the top, smaller draft on the bottom. Which is exactly what we want. So we'll turn off the reference plane. Now I want to add my rounds back in. So the first rounds I want to add are the large ones. So I'm going to use the chain method here. And we're just going to walk around this outside of the part. And that's a bit large. We're going to change that to a 1 millimeter round. that on the other side as well. There we go. And now we're ready to add our small rounds back. So what we'll do for the selection set then is we'll use the all fillets. That's going to be a 0.5. And then we also want, we'll accept that, and then we also want all rounds. And accept that. Preview and finish. So now we've added our rounds back in. Let's look at our draft angle and make sure that everything is good there. Remember, we can go to our inspect tab and we can click on the analysis. Click on the draft face analysis. And I can see that one side is completely yellow. There are no red faces, no blue faces. It's going to the center. And then on the other side, everything is red. No yellow faces, no green faces, and no blue faces. Remember, the green is straight. Small angles are cyan. Crossovers are blue. We don't have any of those. We have everything exactly correct to be able to get this out of the mold. Now, sometimes what people will do is go in and add maybe a little bit of backdraft here. They'll add a little bump or something inside of this ring to hold it to the ejection side to make sure when the mold opens that it has no possibility of sticking to the injection side. And so we put a little bump in here that actually creates a little backdraft. So this down here might be blue or yellow, a little bump inside of here, but not so much that it can't be ejected. It can't be deformed to get out of the mold. So there you go, another way to add draft.